guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen from runfitmama.net, and I had so many questions on my Instagram about how to train for a RunDisney race and specifically Dopey challenge tips. I, of course, would love to do about 1 million videos on this because it's one of my favorite things to do, but I wanted to do kind of like a broad Dopey challenge tips, some RunDisney tips for any race that you plan on doing, and then also just a little bit here about what to do while you're training. I am going to do more specific videos as my channel progresses, but since, you know, I'm kind of new, I just kind of wanted to tiptoe into the RunDisney stuff. And then if you have any other questions, please submit them down below, or you can go to my Instagram at runfitmama, and you can tell me any questions that you might have if I didn't touch on anything specifically that you need. So I started doing RunDisney in 2013. I did the Tinkerbell half marathon. That's before challenges, before 10Ks, I believe. They just had the 5K and the half marathon. I signed up for it in August and it was in January. So this was like way before the RunDisney rush kind of got overwhelming and you had to, you know, like have the shaky hands and be online at 9 a.m. and make sure that you get your spot. So I did the Tinkerbell half marathon. It was a blast. It was so much fun. I had no idea what I was getting into. I, you know, trained like I would any other race. I showed up and it was just so overwhelmingly wonderful with characters and fireworks and everything else that I was just hungry to do it all over again. And then after I did that race, I believe that's when they announced that in September, they were going to do the first Dumbo Double Dare, where you run the 10K one day and the half marathon on the next day. So I started doing a few of those, and then I got the crazy idea, well, why don't I run the 5K also? So I did the 5K, the 10K, then the half marathon, all in 3 days. It was so much fun, and I thought, heck, if I can do that, I can absolutely do the Dopey challenge where, you know, you just add a little race on the 4th day, which just happens to be a full marathon. So that was my very first Disney World race experience, and it didn't go quite as well. I had a really bad hip injury, and halfway through the marathon, I thought I wasn't gonna finish, but I pulled through. I cried a little bit like we all do during marathons, and I finished it. And then I did it again last year in 2018, and I just had a better mindset because even though it didn't feel easier, but my brain told my body, I've done this before, it's gonna suck at like this point or the next, and you know, you're gonna finish it, you're gonna make yourself finish it, so you might as well just enjoy it and smile through the pain and smile through the good tears and the bad tears in case you have those too. So we're gonna go ahead and get going with all of my RunDisney / Dopey challenge tips. So the first thing I would tell you to do is to find a plan. So I personally followed the Jeff Galloway plan where you run a little bit, walk a little bit. That kind of helped me get my PR, and it helped me feel like I wasn't going to get injured after every long run. A good sign that you are possibly running too fast or too long is that if you do your long run and you come home and you are just dead the rest of the day, you have to lay on the couch, you're having a really hard time recovering, I would try something else. I found Jeff Galloway through the RunDisney website. Hal Higdon is also another great resource. He also does Dopey challenge plans for marathons. So I would get either one of those books or do some research online and kind of feel out what the schedule seems to you. If you think that, for example, the Jeff Galloway training plan, you have to do a 5K, 10K, half, and a full, basically, before you do the actual Dopey challenge, like a couple weeks before. I personally never went that high. It just kind of didn't seem necessary, and truthfully, I'm not gonna run 26 miles without getting a medal at some point. So just find what works for you. Really read them through, read some reviews, see what you have time for. The Jeff Galloway one can be a bit time consuming because at some point you're running 5 times a week. So if that doesn't really seem like it fits with your schedule, maybe check out Hal Higdon, or maybe just write one your own. You could always message me. I could kind of help you come up with a plan that works best for you. You kind of have to make running fit into your life. Otherwise, this is going to be a very long training year for you. So my next one kind of goes into what I was saying. Do not overtrain. The first time around doing Dopey, I thought the more the better. I was running 5 or 6 days a week, but oh, well, I should just sneak in another 3-mile run. You know, what can it hurt? Well, truthfully, I ended up with an overuse injury. My hip flexor was so bad that by the end, it felt like I was pulling my leg to the end of the finish line. The problem is when you overtrain, a lot of times you risk injury, you risk getting sick. And if you find yourself getting a cold or the flu, kind of back to back, that might be your body's sign of telling you you really need to slow down. And the thing is about halves or fulls is that for a half for me, I train about up to 10 miles. And then for a full, I trained up to 20 miles or 5 hours. If you're running anything past 5 hours, you're just putting wear and tear on your body. And like I said, you're risking getting a cold. And since you're doing those 20 miles, probably around the end of November, beginning of December, you have a race the next month. And if you get sick, that could really take you out. I really feel for people. I've seen them run with this Dopey challenge with the flu or with a cold or any race for that matter, and it really will put a damper on your whole trip. So just really try to listen to your body. Remember that more is not always better. Just follow your plan and trust your training. And if you do get sick, or if you have an injury and you need to take a week or two off, do not feel like you have to make up those miles. You do not need to punish yourself for a human moment. So whatever your plan is, if the next plan says next week you're supposed to run 7 miles, but you missed your 6 miler, just do the 7. You'll be fine, you can do it, and just keep going. So my third tip is to key into nutrition. I would really take this time to figure out what your body needs. Make sure you are getting enough protein and make sure that you're getting enough recovery carbs after. I love fruit. It's quick, it gets right back into your bloodstream, and I would definitely incorporate some fruit and protein right after a workout. So a protein shake and a banana is perfect. And then maybe an hour or two later, have a good hearty meal of chicken, some sweet potatoes, something that really refuels your muscles and helps you recover so you can do your next run just as well as you did this one. This is not a time to diet. You are not going to train for the Dopey challenge or train for any full marathon for that matter and drop 20 pounds. You might, there are some unicorns out there, but truthfully, your body is swollen, your muscles are holding on to an extreme amount of water. Any carb that you take in on those runs, your body's just gonna absorb and use. So don't be so hard on yourself. You're not gonna drop a ton of weight, but that's not really the point of this anyway, right? You're trying to run a marathon and you're trying to do it healthy. So don't restrict calories to the point where you are starving and you are risking not doing very well at the race, to be quite honest. My first time around, I was kind of doing that. I would tap into my Fitness Pal and I wouldn't quite eat as much as I needed, if I were being honest, and I didn't do so great. And the second time, I upped my macros, I had more carbs, more fats, I had healthy protein, and you know what? I did so much better. It's just not the time to diet. So my next tip is just as important as it is to train. You need to recover. So if you are not foam rolling, you are doing a huge no-no and a huge disservice to yourself. This is my Trigger Point foam roller. I love it. It is perfect. I'll show you the little logo. I got it off of Amazon. I think it was like $25. You need to be rolling your IT band, your hamstrings, and your quads. I mean, you need to be foam rolling everything, but the IT band is key. I once had my sports massage therapist tell me that your IT band is like a cold stick of butter right out of the fridge. So the first 5 minutes that you are rolling it, it is that cold stick of butter, but you need to keep going because soon you're starting to melt into that. And it's a weird combination of muggle, probably thinking about Harry Potter, muscle and ligament that you really need to work in there. And if you do not, you are going to get knee pain, hip pain, back pain. I mean, everything. Your IT band is key and you need this to do that. I bring this with me to RunDisney races. I just shove shirts in the middle and put it in my suitcase. This is a Trigger Point ball. Of course, you can always use a tennis ball, but this gets those little teeny tiny muscles, especially in my calves. This is isolating the spot, so it really gets all those little teeny tiny muscles. I also bring my stick. I make Ryan do this for me because truthfully, you don't really like work yourself as hard as you would work someone else. So I make him really roll out my hamstrings, my glutes, my quads, everything, and I just kind of lay there and enjoy it sometimes. So definitely invest in one of these. I believe this is also it's also a Trigger Point. I just love this brand. And it has all the little nodules, so it gets kind of all the little tiny muscles also. This is great on your calves too, because like I said, someone else will always go more firm than you will, and so really get in there with the calves. My next tip is sleep. You need to be sleeping. I want you to aim for about 8 hours a night. I know it's tough. It was tough for me, especially with really little kids, but you need to be sleeping. And this goes for when you are there. I know you're gonna get to Disney World and you're like, I've got this. I'll just stay up really late. I'll recover after. So the 5K day, I did allow myself to go to Magic Kingdom. I probably stayed till about 5 p.m. The 10K day, I went to Animal Kingdom, again, about 5 p.m. The half marathon day, I did nothing. I mean, I walked around, I loosened up, I went to Chipotle, but I did not go to the parks, and I went to bed early because you are going to need to get to these races sometimes at 2:30 in the morning, and you do not need to show up with 2 hours of sleep. That's just torture for yourself, and you're not gonna feel really good the next couple of days. So the next thing would be to get to the races early. Please hear me. This is not just a warning just to be annoying, I promise, but you need to get there early. These races start at 5 a.m., I know, but the first bus, I believe, starts at 2:30. You want to be on that first bus because you do not want to risk a traffic jam, a bus forgetting where to go. This has happened to several people I've talked to online. The bus breaks down. I've been on a bus at Disney where it broke down in the rain. And God forbid you miss like the 10K day and then you don't get your Dopey medal because you missed a day. I don't know if RunDisney would actually like do that. I'm sure that they would figure it out or maybe make everyone wait. But I'm just saying, just for your anxiety and your stress level, get on the first bus. It's only an extra couple minutes. Bring your breakfast with you and get to the race early. The corrals open an hour before the race starts. You want to be at the front of the corral, especially if you didn't get the corral that you really wanted to. If you're further towards the back, you do risk, seeing the balloon ladies. So even if you're on the last corral, you'll be fine. Just get there early and get to the very front before the waves start going and just run at the start line, get out of the bottlenecks, and you'll totally be okay. But definitely get there early. And hey, you know what? While you're hanging out, you might meet some new friends. Okay, I want you to pack throwaway clothes, throw away blankets, throw away gloves, throw away socks, anything you can find that you plan on giving to Goodwill, I would pack with you. When I did Dopey in 2018, anyone who did this can remember, we called it the Frozen Dopey. I showed up to Florida and I could tell you I probably thought I was in Alaska. For the 5K day, we could see our breath. I was running with my scarf over my face so the cold wouldn't get into my throat. I was wearing 2 sweatshirts, my long sleeve shirt, my jacket, 2 pairs of gloves. I think I had the thin ones and then some mittens over. I had 3 pairs of leggings on and a blanket, which my friend's husband so kindly kept for me at the start line so I could use it the other few days. It was that cold. So what I did was I went to Walmart, I got like $8 sweats, and I use those mostly for the full and the half day because you're really waiting a really long time in those corrals. And those are the 2 days you do not want to be cold. You do not want to feel stiff. So bring anything you plan on getting rid of. If you're lucky, maybe you won't ever have to throw it away like the 5K day and I just kind of hung on to everything. But yeah, pack all of that. And you know what? Last minute, I brought one of those like fleecy top type blankets that Ryan won at work. And I thought, I don't know, something's kind of telling me to bring a blanket. Or for example, you could bring an old bathrobe, but it was amazing. I just wrapped it all the way around my head. I'm gonna insert some videos and some pictures just to show you.
You can see our breath right now.
I have never been this cold, never.
It's so cold.
It was kind of unreal. There was one point where we were waiting to meet Dopey before the 5K, and it was one of those where we're like, okay, we're gonna take off all of our clothes, all our layers, and we're just gonna take a picture really fast and it'll be fine. So we get up there and we're like freezing and we're trying to smile and our eyes are tearing up. It is that cold. So just be prepared. It might be super hot, it might be super cold. Florida changes in a day. So I would just pack for everything. You won't regret it. Also, I would pack more than enough nutrition. You don't want to get there and realize that you went through your goo or you went through your other snacks really, really fast. If you're doing one race, you might not be so concerned about that. But when I did Dopey, especially this last time, it was like I was having a full-on picnic during my run. I was eating Fig Newtons, goos, gels. I mean, anything I packed, I ate. And in fact, we Amazon Primed some peanut butter and jelly stuff and some bagels, and I packed a bagel with me on the way there, and by the time I was done sitting in the corral, because you're waiting so long, it was time for like second breakfast. So I would just overpack for nutrition. You won't be sad that you have extra stuff, but you will be sad if you're really hungry waiting in the corrals. So I would also bring 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. Honestly, if you're running 4 days in a row, you kind of get sick of those shoes. And what I do is I buy Asics, and I buy a couple of different colors in the same exact model that I like. And I bring 2 or 3 of them when I go to Disney World. If it rains, you don't want to run in wet shoes, and you want to have that extra pair just in case. Even if it's not your favorite pair, maybe bring a backup to run in for the 5K, 10K, and then save your really good shoes for the half and the full. So my last tip for you guys is the best tip. It's just to have fun. Focus on the race you are in. There's no need to stress about the full when you're running the 5K. Every race is so much fun. It has so many good perks and qualities about it. There are things I love about the 5K, and then things that I specifically love about the 10K, and then the half, and then the full. My first time around doing Dopey, I was so scared for the full that I completely missed out on all the fun memories and all the fun times I could have had the first few days. So the second time I did, it's kind of like having a baby. So the first time you're terrified, you don't know what to expect, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then the second time you do it, you're like, okay, well, I've done this before and I'm alive. So I'm sure I'll live through it the second time, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. So the second time we took way more pictures, we laughed, we didn't really care about our time, because honestly, you're not really there to win a full. Maybe you are. And if you are watching my channel and you're trying to win the full Disney Marathon, can you please reach out to me, because that's pretty awesome. But you know, you're not there to like get some great PR. You might, and good for you, but there's a lot of bottlenecks, and there's a lot of really good picture stops, like the castle. I mean, you're never going to be able to run through a Disney castle with the lights on and get a picture by yourself in front of it. So just enjoy it. Focus on your race. Know that when you are running the 10K, these are thoughts and feelings that I have during a 10K. And then these are thoughts and feelings that I have during a half. And then when you get to the full, I want you to remember that you absolutely 100% can do this. You are capable of more than you know. You have to put one foot in front of the other. That was our theme song for the last Dopey challenge. It was that Walk the Moon song, one foot in front of the other. That's all you have to do. And if you have to walk, crawl, cry, scream, smile, whatever it is you have to do to get yourself to that finish line, you can do it. And there are things about the full that I absolutely love. So what I do is I break it down. All I have to do is get to Magic Kingdom. So that's like 4 miles. I just have to get there. I'm gonna take a picture of the big TTC where it says Magic Kingdom and the music's playing and the monorail's going by. I'm gonna get that picture. And then I'm gonna get myself to Main Street, and I'm gonna take a picture of the castle. And then I'm gonna take a picture outside the castle after I run through it. And then all I have to do is I have to go to Animal Kingdom. When I get there, I'm gonna ride Expedition Everest. So that's the halfway point, right? So then all I have to do after that is get to ESPN. And then once I run through the mazes at ESPN, all the different baseball fields and all that stuff, I'm gonna see Sports Goofy, and I'm gonna take a picture with him. And then once I'm done with ESPN, that's it. I'm past the wall, as they say. I'm past mile 17, 18, 20. Now I'm gonna go to Hollywood Studios. I'm gonna get my bag of candy right when I get there. And then after that, all I have to do is get to Epcot. And Epcot is awesome because you're at mile 25, you run through all the countries, you see all the princesses waiting outside of their country, you can get a margarita almost to mile 26, and then right there at the finish line is a gospel choir, which I cry every single time, and then there you see it, the finish line. And I'm telling you, that feeling of finishing will be something you will never forget. You will hate it probably until you get to the finish line, and then once you cross it and you wear that medal, you're gonna think, yeah, when do I register again? Because I have to do this all over again. So I just wanted to say thank you so, so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to that. I hope this helped you. If you have, like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know, because I wanna help you do whatever Run Disney race you want to do, because I think they're amazing. I think they are life-changing because without them, I wouldn't be running as much as I do now. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, do all the fun things. And hey, maybe I'll see you at a Run Disney race soon. Bye.